pizza. But
is that true, by the way, that he eats more than anybody on the show? Because I know there was one gag on the show where Sal had to point out how much Joe had eaten. Does that happen all the time? Is he that much of an eater?
nobody eats more than James Murray.
Oh, wow. Okay, that does surprise me. He's the smallest out of all of them.
Well, yeah, I mean, size is all relative with the guys. Sal eats like nothing. Sal drinks like juice all day, and like he's like the most health conscious. Murr eats so much all day long. He's eating lo mein and like a soup and candies. Like he eats all day long. I don't know, but he's always moving a mile a minute, talking to people, shaking around. He's like his body is like constantly vibrating. So I think it's just like he melts the fat away. I don't get it, but yeah, he eats a ton.
Wow. Wow.
His sodium levels must be through the roof, but he's got them checked and he says he's okay. Gatto eats a lot of pastries. That's it. But like his meals are pretty sensible. He eats fast though. That could be a difference. He eats pretty fast.
Yeah. Well, I was actually thinking, I have my brother-in-law up here because we're doing our Clerks Minute show, and he actually asked me, I was like, why does it seem like Murr always has the worst punishments? Is that a true statement, that Murr might have the worst punishments?
The thing with the show is, like I said before, if you don't do a punishment, if you refuse a punishment, you're off the show. But they don't want anybody to be off the show, so they want to give punishments that they really think that guy would do. They want to bring it up to the line. They don't want to cross the line. But with Murr, the line is so I don't know. There's no line. There's almost no line, and they know that. And so they keep trying to find where the line is, and Murr keeps doing it. So it's kind of this like, it's just that's kind of why, Sal. They don't want Sal to quit the show, and they give him bad punishments, but they also don't want to give him ones that he'll say no to because they don't want anyone to quit the show, obviously. But Murr, they know that he loves the show and he loves attention, that they'll just like keep giving him the hardest stuff because they know he'll do it. Maybe that's the reason why.
Exactly, that's a valid reason, actually. That's a very valid reason. So.
But yeah, it's funny. He's the biggest sport. That's the best thing about Murray. Like he's just such a good sport. After his worst punishment, he's hugging the crew and being like, "Thank you," and everyone's like, "Thank you. We just made you do this thing. We threw you out of a plane, and you're saying thank you." They're all such generous guys.
Yeah. When it comes to Murray, I feel bad for him at times. Between the fact that he's been shaved and now he's running around with cute hair, and it's just uncomfortable sometimes. How is he a man with cute hair? I know the comedy, it's so weird. It's so weird to watch him with that hair.
It's my favorite thing. It's like my favorite thing just because it just changes the whole dynamic of the show. It makes the show this other thing, like that we can influence a person's look for months. Like all summer long, he's been wearing a heavy wig on his head.
Oh my God, that's hysterical. It's funny to watch it because I remember when it happened, and me and my wife looked at each other like, "Wait, they're not actually doing this. Are they actually going to do this?"
The fact that we committed to it is so funny. Like we were like, "Oh, not only are we going to have him wear this wig, he's going to wear it for the rest of the season." If it was just one, if most shows were our show, they would have him wear it for one day for like a punishment. But we made it continue for months because that's our show. We think outside of the box. We always kind of push the limits.
Yeah, what are we on, season 7 of this show now at this point?
Yeah, we're finishing season 6 airing. We've already filmed it. Season 7 is in pre-production as of right now, which is September 6th. That's 2017.
That's fantastic, actually. That's great to know. I actually didn't know if they got renewed officially for season 7, so that's actually really, really cool. That would be dumb for True TV at this point. It really would be. It's their biggest show at this point.
They've been really cool to us. They've always been supportive and really fun. I love True TV. I don't think it would work on any other network.
No, I can't say. I'm laughing at the censors at this point. What they get away with the censor bars. Like, I didn't know you can flip people off like you can on this show, and the language you can get away with on this show now. I know cable is different than broadcast TV, but I've never seen a show that gets away with the language they get away with on the show. I've never seen it before.
I know.
I know. I don't get how they pull it off. It's just crazy to me. I think it was on the podcast where you guys were saying there's no way that they're going to air the middle finger, and I just watched it last night. They did, and it was hysterical. I've
I
never
was
seen that
surprised.
before.
I was surprised by that too. I didn't know that we did that. I thought that it was blurred, but I guess we showed it. I guess it's late enough, or times have changed.
I think times have changed because I started that episode like in the middle of the morning and it was still not blurred.
Yeah.
It was on like it showed on all the time. So eventually you're gonna see an episode in the middle of the morning and it's like, oh, they didn't censor it then either, so it didn't bother. Well, we're in a world with South Park where they just do whatever the hell they want anyway. So I guess it's the same logic here.
I know it's incredible. We're lucky with what we get away with, and we've had even crazier ideas that we haven't. But maybe now it's time to start rolling out the really nuts one.
The fact that you're saying that actually makes me excited that there's more that never made the air. That's actually really cool to know.
You'll see in their live show. I don't know if I think they still do it. You'll see like they show challenges that have been rejected. There's not many, but you'll see that there are some that were, I don't know, too hot for television.
Has there been a challenge that you're actually wondering, is True TV actually going to let us air this? Has there been one?
Yeah, there's been times where we've thought, well, it's not so much to the stage where we would film it and then we'd think, are they going to let us show this? It's like before we film it, are they going to let us do it? That happens once in a while where we're like, will they approve the budget or will they approve this idea before we actually, shoot it?
All right, that's good to know. At least that's always good to have a network support. That's all I know. It's good to know to have the network support when it comes to, we're just going to do this, and hopefully nobody seems to mind at this point. I actually like the fact that there's been times where I think I was brought up on an Inside Jokes or something where a challenge just turns into a punishment. Or it's like, well, that was out of nowhere. That was impromptu. I didn't expect that to happen. I think you said it before. This is the best show for that because you never know what's going to happen because it's the most improv show ever.
Yeah, that's the coolest thing. I mean, there's been shows in the past that try to like do the improv thing, and they try to like have a show that's completely unscripted in a way, or like you don't know what happens. We script things, or we not so much script, but we plan out what's going to happen. But a lot of times we don't know what the guys are going to say because so much of it is off the cuff, and we don't know which direction it's going to go. And so we try to prepare for anything. We don't know what's going to happen, so we try to think, oh, what if he does this? If he does this, when we do this. If he does this, then we do this. And that always helps us out. We have a great team that's ready for anything.
Yeah, I know on the street there are times, is it true, if it's blurred out, you did not get the approval of the people on the show? Am I right about that statement?
Correct.
Okay, because I know we're watching and I'm like, why is that blurred out? They've been on the show for like 10 minutes. Why is that blurred? You just can't get their approval? They don't want to be on the show at all?
Yeah, sometimes people have, they're coming from work, or they have religious reasons why they can't, or they're like literally in the middle of an affair, which has happened before.
Oh my God! Wow, that escalated quickly.
Yeah, at IKEA there was like a couple, like it was clear that they were like furnishing their little like side love palace.
Oh my God! That's fantastic. Of course,
that's the thing about one of my favorite things about this show is like we film so much with strangers and on the street, so you meet everyone. You meet every kind of person, and you have to talk to them and get a release from them. And that's a lot of what I did in season 1 because it was just a small show. I'd have to talk to all these people. I would have nightmares at night, just like having to talk to someone who was going to strangle me or something.
Yeah, well, how close has it gotten to where one of the Jokers actually almost got hit? How close has it gotten?
Not too much. It's more often that somebody will yell at the Jokers. Rarely do they get into a physical altercation. We have a bouncer. No, I keep calling him a bouncer. A security guard nearby. So like if anything ever escalates, someone will jump in and stop it.
Yeah, I remember. I think it might have been. What was it? I think it was when he threw the chicken nugget at the guy. I think that might have been the moment where like, did they almost get hit? Like, did they almost get hit for this one? Because it sure felt like it in the moment. Like someone was going to get hit.
Yeah, Gatto talks about that a little bit on After Party. Basically, that guy was so mad, and then as soon as they told him it was a television show, he was so happy.
Well, it almost feels like if it's on a TV show, then it's a sigh of relief that these people aren't this crazy. Am I right?
Yeah,
though?
and it wasn't a real threat. It was almost like, oh, they did that to be fun, and I'm fun, and so let's have fun.
And I made, and ironically, his scene made for a great commercial break teaser, so it worked out nicely.
Hey, yeah, that's all we're trying to do is those teasers.
Yeah, it makes a great TV show, and at the end of the day, that is what matters.
That's it. That's all. All we're trying to do is to have these little exciting moments.
So, well, on that note, I am looking at the clock, and we went longer than I expected, which is not a bad thing. I had a lot of fun with this conversation. So,
Blake, so did I. Thank you so much for having me. I had a blast. It's so nice to talk about this stuff with someone.
and that, ladies and gentlemen, was Casey Jost from Impractical Jokers. What a great guy. It was a really, really fun interview. I hope you really enjoyed that. Thank you so much for listening. Next week, me and Sal will be back together to preview No Mercy. Mark will be here, and we're going to have a lot of fun with that. Thank you so much for listening to The Blake and Sal Show. Have a good day, everybody.
I'm happy to be here. What kind of perks do I get as co-host?
Ask my normal co-host, not a whole lot. My main co-host got a free T-shirt. That was nice.
Oh, all right. So I got some merch, some swag.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that.
So yeah, we have our own T-shirts now. So